And without further ado, this young man is our guest speaker today. No stranger to us. He is a powerful speaker, great trainer, hails from San Diego, California, a great father, a great mentor. Had the pleasure of going down and having lunch with him about a month ago. Without further ado, our leader with the biggest organization growing in San Diego, the one and only regional director, Mr. Julian Lewis. Good morning, sir.
It's good to see all of you. I see some smiling faces. Some of you look irritated. I hope that changes as we do the training. I saw a smile there. I saw you smile over there. You weren't looking irritated, though. You always look happy. Some of you, though, I don't know. Maybe you need some coffee. Anyway, I love you guys. Mr. Thomas, you paused again. I don't know if Jabri's messing with you right now, but I saw. Yeah, it's great to see your smiling face as well, sir. And I'm really excited to be on the conference call or the Zoom call this morning because we're going to be breaking down, like I said before, the ACN system. And before I get into it, I just want to say that Mr. Thomas was out here. He was enjoying himself. We had a great time. I saw him. He did like a Superman change in less than 30 seconds. He got out of the airplane clothes and into some flip-flops and was enjoying San Diego the way you're supposed to enjoy it. And that's really what this business is all about. I mean, people make a mistake and they think, oh, it's about cell phones or it's about internet. I can tell you, if you put me and Mr. Thomas together and my mentor, my personal mentor, you put the three of us on a panel and started asking us questions about services, we would fail miserably because that's not what the business is about. It's about being able to get paid from giving people a value and being the best servant you can to humanity. And so I thank you for being that example and that model to show other people that they can do it too. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Now, guys, we're going to get into this just to break this down. Remember, the first week we talked about how to identify a real leader, how to identify someone who's not, so that you can be the example and you can model the example of a leader, right? The second training, which we did last week, then anyone, can you put it in the chat? Do you remember what that training was about? The second training? What was that about? Do you guys remember? You know, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to quiz you on things. What was that training about? No one knows? You guys weren't close enough to the chat? I know Mr. Thomas knows. Does anybody else know? Put that in the chat. There it is, ACN system. Thank you so much, sir. All right, now this training, we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So we're going to take a closer look at the ACN system, and we're going to be breaking down the launch. And guys, I'm going to rely on my other business partner. Last week I relied on my business partner and co-founder, Mr. Michael Kupis, right? This week, I'm going to rely on his twin brother, Mr. Tony Kupis. Now, why am I doing this? Because I want you guys to see that what we share with you, it has been shared with us. What we're teaching you is the system. It's not something I created or pulled out of my brain and said, oh, this sounds really, really good. Let's try it. See, if you're experimenting, you don't have a system yet. And if no one wants to be experimented on. Can we agree? Can we agree that's a reason why some people are nervous? Should I get the vaccine? Should I not get the vaccine? People don't want to be experimented on, right? So the same thing with ACN. No one wants to be experimented on in your business. So why not follow a system that allows you to scale, that identifies leaders, that creates results without you trying to throw spaghetti on the wall to see if it sticks? So I'm going to bring up some slides. I normally don't bring up slides, but because there's so much information and I want you to screenshot this also, I'm going to bring up my business partner who will be in these slides as well. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm being silly, but let me go ahead and bring this up and we're going to get right into it. All right. Share. Here we go. So let's do it, guys. You guys ready? Hold on 1 second. Let me fix these slides because I realized something. I think it's gonna end the show. Let me see. Yeah, let me fix this 1 second. While I'm fixing it, do me a huge favor. Grab a notepad and a pen and be ready to take just a few key notes that I'm gonna mention as these slides come up. So let me escape this real quick. All right. Here's where we got it. Good. Play from here. All right. Yes, it's gonna work now. All right. Play slideshow. Yes, okay. All right, here we go. So first slide I'm gonna bring up, you see that's my business partner right there. And the reason why I have him up there and the reason why I wanted to use the slide is to let you guys know this is a training to refresh the leaders on what they should be focusing on. If you've never been a part of it, it's RDU leadership. I highly recommend becoming an RD so you can have access to this. And I need you to know this. This is why I'm trying to teach this. He is a co-founder. Listen to me. He's a co-founder. But the co-founders built a company that went from 0 to 500 million in their first 5 years from scratch, from thin air to $500 million in 5 years. Why? Because they understand something that every great coach, every great leader from every sport, from every business understands. You have to get back to the basics and master the fundamentals. So many leaders become so eloquent, and so many leaders start to only focus on training mindset and focusing. And don't get me wrong, you guys know, and to me, mindset is extremely important. But once you understand the mindset, if you're overcomplicating your approach, then you're destroying your future results. All right. So this is going to be a breakdown of the simplicity of the system. So Mr. Tony Kukas went over your first 30 days. And I want to talk about this because sometimes I hear leaders make this mistake. I hear people talking about and having a conversation with new people that maybe you shouldn't be having. And so we want to go over what the goal is and then how you should be speaking to a new person. Okay. If my goal is to let's say my daughter loves vegetables. She always has her whole life. It's because of our approach when she was little. But if let's say she didn't enjoy vegetables and my goal was to get her to eat vegetables, my approach can't be, you're going to eat these damn vegetables. Okay? Because she will never like vegetables her entire life, right? She will resent the idea of vegetables. If my goal is to get her to eat vegetables, I can maybe put a little bit of spinach in her fruit smoothie and say, baby, does this taste good? And she said, oh my gosh, daddy, this is good. Guess what? It's vegetables. See, a lot of us are like, we need to get you qualified. No. See, that's where you're making a mistake. Your goal is to get them to ETL. Your steps are through qualifications. And you need to understand that. But that shouldn't be the conversation. The conversation is, remember, I gave my daughter the strawberry shake. Why? Because she loves strawberries. So I gave her what's in it for who? What's in it for me? No, I gave her what's in it for her. And that's the mistake that so many, even leaders make. Because if you run around telling people, we need to get you qualified, they don't even know what that means. Everything that you're saying sounds like it's for you. So why would I do it if it's going to benefit you? And if you ever wondered why you get pushback when you try to qualify someone, it's because you're telling them, I'm trying to qualify you. Okay, so that's mistake number one. So here's what you do. First 30 days, become an IBO. This is our goal for our new person, to help them become an IBO, to get them customer qualified, and to get the fast start bonus, which is ETL with at least one recruit. That's in parentheses. That's important. 15 or more personal points. So ETL with at least one recruit, 15 or more personal points. All right. So focus of a launch. Here's the focus of a launch. Become an IBO, attend trainings, and set up your PBZ. So why is the steps of the launch and the focus of the launch? So what is that all about? Well, the focus of the launch is going to generate you the results of customer qualified and ETL. So look, here's how this is what Tony Kupas is saying. Here's how you get someone to ETL. You help them enroll as an IBO, you help them to attend the trainings, and you set up the PBZ. So why is that? How is that going to get someone to ETL? If you remember from last week's training, the way you get someone to do ACN, they need to be enrolled. Do you guys remember how you get someone enrolled? By plugging them into the what? The trainings. So that's the enrollment process. So many people are fighting people to get them qualified. You have to come up with all of this special sales conversation to close someone to get them qualified. Now I can do that. I know Mr. Thomas can do that. I know Dakota Bragg can do that. But out of the three of us, to this day, the years I've been in this business, I've never met someone that can do it outside of maybe 3 people in our team that can do it just as great. What does that mean? The sales thing doesn't duplicate, but plugging in people into a training does. So you can plug them into the training and you can set up their PBZ and start inviting. So those are the three things that you want to focus on when it comes to the launch. Now, the value of a new IBO, the whole point of new IBOs is new IBOs lead you to more people. And when they lead you to more people, those are going to be either business partners or customers. Remember what I trained you guys on last week. There's the difference between someone that joins at 224 and someone that doesn't, there is no difference. They still have a lead source. So people will either become a leader or a lead source to other people. So remember that as you are launching the business. So how do you launch? There's 2 ways to launch. You can do a personal launch, or you can do the weekly training. Do you know that most people, even some leaders, don't know that the purpose of a Saturday training is just a big launch? Well, why would someone do a big launch? Well, because there's only certain people that have accomplished and are effective at giving information so that people can receive it so that they act. Great trainers aren't just eloquent speakers. Great trainers aren't just excited and passionate. That's not what great trainers are. Great trainers can say things in a simple way with energy so that when they're done speaking, the person gets it so much that they want to go out and act. That's what a great trainer is, okay? It's not someone that has all these like magical, mystical stories. And no, at the end of the training, the person's like shaking because they want to leave. If you've ever been in a Tony Kupas training, most people are getting anxious because you see them doing all this. They're looking around because they want to leave the training and go get a customer, all right? So that's what it is. If you're not there yet, then what you want to do instead of doing personal launches, you want to plug your people into the weekly trainings so that they can get launched by the experts. And as they're being launched by the experts, what are you doing? You're taking notes on how the expert conveys the training so that you can get better and you can use their language to have the same impact. I hope you guys caught that. Now, the next part, what are we doing when we launch in a big launch called the training? What are we doing on a Saturday training? And I'm calling it a Saturday training just because traditionally it it was on Saturdays. Now that we're on Zoom, it can be an any day training. Most of them still are on Saturday though. So here's the breakdown. These are the things we are going to make simple enough for a new person to understand when they're getting launched. The mindset that they want to have to build the business, the comp plan. We're going to go to RD, all right? The reason why we're not going to RVP, SVP is because we just want them to understand what's possible and the breakdown so that they can see RD as tangible, because when we get to RD, then we're going to break down RVP, SVP, all right? Then we have customer acquisition. We focus on source 1 and 2 to keep it simple. Recruiting through PBZs, and then promoting events. Remember what I showed you last week? This is, I saw someone post it. This is the ACN system. So we're going to give them a bird's eye view. We're going to break down in simple terms the ACN system. And then we're going to talk about, the comp plan. Okay. The comp plan is very simple. We break down from customer qualified to RD. And what do? We show how you get paid. We talk about how when you're brand new and you become customer qualified, which is your 3 services totaling 7 points, how you're going to earn a $50 bonus. We show why getting to ETL has value. See, when you become an ETL and people enrolling your team and become customer qualified, you're going to make $50 on every single one of those, even if they're not directly sponsored. And then RD, we show all of the value. Why do we show? Because remember what we're showing. What's in it for you, the new person. The point of explaining is so they can understand it. And when they can understand it, when people look at RD, some people are going to look at RD and say, oh my gosh, I have the potential to make an extra $500 a month. Some people are going to look at RD and say, oh my gosh, I have the potential to make $10,000 a month. But when you break it down, the person is going to see what they feel they can do within their own mind that excites them. So that's why you want to break down the compensation plan. And then with customer acquisition, when we talk about acquiring customers, we're going to talk about the 2 sources. The third source, the everyone else, we're not focused on that. Those are the sources that as you become more seasoned in the business, you go to the referrals and everyone else. But for right now, it's you and people who see the business who do not become business owners. All right. Now, when people talk about becoming their own customer, you want to become your own customer. Sometimes there's a lot of closing involved, meaning people saying, and it's great, don't get me wrong. It's great to say if you owned a car dealership and it was a Mercedes dealership, why would you pull up to your Mercedes dealership in a flagship BMW? You wouldn't. You would represent your brand. So you can start with that, but you want to talk about what's in it for them. Why would you want to be a customer? Because you're going to earn 3 to 20% on your own services. Customers become believers. So when you have it, it works well and you're saving money. You have a belief that you know it's good, not just in theory. So you speak differently about it. You learn how to sign up other customers. You know how many times people say, well, how do you sign up this customer? And you ask them, have you tried to sign yourself up? And they say no. You want to sign up yourself so you understand the process, the value in personal points. You start to live the compensation plan, qualifying for customer for CQ, earning personal customer bonuses. You earn fast start bonuses, recognition. There's so many things and reasons why someone would want to become a customer. So you want to share those reasons. And then the second source, prospects who do not become IBOs. Here's a simple way. It's the value of a recruit. Would you rather ask someone to, and I need everyone to think about this, would you rather ask someone to become 1 customer or, and I'm asking you, so put it in the chat, or become an IBO and acquire a lot of customers? Would you rather have someone be 1 customer, so that's number 1, or number 2, become an IBO and acquire a lot of customers? Which one would you rather be? You guys, you can put it in the chat. Which one would you, right? I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna say number 2. Then if everyone knows logically that number 2 is gonna lead you to more customers, then why would someone ever say, well, I only wanna get customers? You don't get it. Like Mr. Thomas would say, right? Hello, right? He would say that, you don't get it. Here's what I mean. I need people that say, oh, I just only want to focus on customers. And then they say, well, so I'm just going to go out and ask people to be my customer. And I'm like, they don't get it. If they really wanted to just focus on customers, they would enroll people to help them get more customers. So you want to lead with that because that's the value of a recruit. A recruit, if you have a huge group of people getting customers, last time I checked, you're getting more customers that way. So you want to lead in that direction, guys. All right. And remember, this is important. Most IBOs are not skilled in selling. Most IBOs don't even want to sell. And my IBOs are not always sure what to say. Confused people do nothing. That's why we want to keep it simple and focus on source 1 and source 2. Think about it. If someone is getting themselves as a customer, do they have to sell? No. Do they want to sell? No, and they don't have to. They're not sure what to say, but they can't say anything weird to themselves is going to stop them from becoming a customer. So that's why you want to do source 1. What's source 2? People who do not become IBOs. Why? Because the leader is going to help anyone that says no to the business, walk them through the process of becoming a customer, just like the new person. So on sources 1 and 2, it keeps it simple and they get results. So the new person, through getting results and keeping it simple, is building confidence in you as a leader and in the system as a whole. I hope you guys caught that. All right. Now, words that work. Huge favor. Why? Because it's simple. Everyone can do it. And it just simply works. I use it when it's not for ACM because it works for the majority of the people, the majority of the time. And so you want to get used to using words that work for the masses, not special technique that works for a niche. Because when you work on the masses, you're going to have results, guys, and you're going to identify more people that are going to want to become leaders. So with that being said, I'm done with that part of it, guys. So I want to stop there. But what I want to share with all of you is this. In those few slides, in less than 30 minutes, I broke down to you what the ACN system is. The irony in all of this is that every one of you have access to it the moment you sign up as an IBO. It's in your back office. And don't get me wrong, all the trainings that we get at 9 a.m. are great, but they are in addition to. They get you to think about what you're thinking about so that you can clear that out and you can focus on the system. But if you have every mindset training in the world and you still don't know how to follow the system because you don't even know what the system is, then you're not going to have success. I know every single one of you can get someone enrolled by getting them on a 3-way call, showing them the business with your mentor. I know from that point, you can promote the training so that they can get launched. And from that point, you and your mentor can help them get their first source 1 customers and source 2 customers by doing what? Remember the focus of the launch was to get them trained and get them inviting for a PBZ. Look, the reasoning is this. If we go back all the way back to the beginning, guys, all the way back to the beginning, your goal in the first 30 days is to get them the ETL. In other words, your goal is to get them paid and promoted. We got to get out of the conversation. Let's get you qualified. Here's why. it does nothing for the IBO. We got to get into the conversation of let's get you to ETL, because ETL is what gets them paid and promoted. They get recognized and they get paid. That's important because recognition, people will die for recognition. But then there's some people like me that say, you can keep the freaking recognition, just give me the paycheck. So you get both when you get them that way. And I'm not just talking about recognition with a team, that's great. When they get to ETL within their first 30 days, they get recognized by ACN corporate at the international Game On event. So remember, we're building from event to event. So when they see their name go across the screen on a global event, they're going to be excited. But guess what else happens? When they get ETL in their first 30 days, and you let them know with what ACN has just done, because you're brand new, we need to get you registered at $29 for the Game On event. And everyone that joins your team, we need to get them paid and promoted, because ACN is going to recognize your entire new squad at this national event. It gives them something to build for. It gives them a reason. It gives them a finish line, a goal line. Every Game On event should be a finish line. And at that event, Greg Provenzano is going to set them up for the next finish line, which will be the next Game On event. Guys, when you start to really put this together, it's brilliant. But when you take the pieces apart and you do onesie, twosies, and you do this, and you forget to promote for that, and you do all those things, you're building this business in such a difficult manner. It's hard. That way is just strange. Don't do it. If you've ever seen someone get promoted to RD, RVP, and you're like, that person can barely speak. Forget the language. They don't even look like they could talk to anyone. If you've ever seen someone get promoted and you're like, the way they sound, they're rubbing me the wrong way. They couldn't sell anything. If you're thinking about that, they didn't. They didn't. They plugged people into the system. And the system enrolled their people for them. That's what Tony Kupas means when he says, when you plug people in, it will do more to build your business than you could ever do yourself. So I hope some of you got a light bulb moment, refresher, because these are the basics. As a team, if you were my team, if you were my football team, and we wanted to win, here's what I would recommend. Have a hard hat mentality. Write this down. Have a hard hat mentality. What does that mean? Blue collar, construction worker, 12-hour day, beast. Have a hard hat mentality. Be willing to go to work. Know that your work affects your team. Know that your work affects your team. And have pride in putting your best foot forward and working your hardest, because your best foot forward also helps your team shine. All right. So have that team mentality, hard hat work ethic, team mentality. And lastly, let's become a team that is the best at the basics. If we can become a team that all we talk about, our philosophy, is not no pie in the sky, here, let's try this, here, tweak and say this weird word, and you're gonna, man, forget all that nonsense. If all we did is got back to mastering the basics, becoming fantastic at the fundamentals, and we adopted that as a philosophy, as a group, no one could stop us. All they would see is smoke, because we would already be there. So with that, Mr. Thomas, I will pass the call back over to you. I appreciate you for allowing me to share. Thank you, guys. I hope you got a lot out of it this morning. Thanks a lot. You're on mute, sir.
You're smoking, sir. Thank you so much. The ASEAN system. I love today because he broke it down, and a lot of things we sidestep, and me included. I have to be the first to put my hand up. It's so simple that sometimes we forget. 9 a.m. call is an addition. I love what he said, an addition to the system. Some of my leaders were talking about that this morning. It doesn't take away, it's an addition. You know, let's get you to ETL. Let's get you paid and promoted. Two things he talked about. Let's get you recognized on the corporate side by getting it done ETL in 30 days and get paid. Have a hard hat on it, man, mentality. Last, let's become a team. Can we show Mr. Lewis? This is really so simple, but so needed today, sir. Thank you. Because we try to change this, change that, tweak this. You're so right. Can we show Mr. Lewis some love by putting in the chat? What did you get out of it? Matter of fact, why don't you do this real quickly for the next 5 or 6 minutes? Take your phone off mute. What did you get out of it today? What did you get out? I tell you, for me, I got out of it. God dang it, Al, you just messed up. Go back to simplicity again. So what did you guys get out of today? What did you get out of it? Some people try to tweak it. Go back to the system. Yes, real quickly.
Back to the basics.
Keep it simple.
Phase one mentality. Phase one mentality.
Phase one.
Hard hat mentality.
Yeah.
Let you get
Hard hat
promoted
Follow the
and
system
This
that
is a-
works.
Give Mr. Lewis.
This is
Follow
a
the
structure.
system.
This is a
stop
structure.
throwing spaghetti.
Keep it short and simple.
Short and simple.
Let the experts handle it.
Let the
Let's get
people
you
get
paid
recognized
and
by
promoted.
Mhm.
To the system.
And guys, here's what's so funny. The company has put together. I wish I had this. We only had a Saturday training
Hello?
in our area when I got started, and it
Hi,
was
how you
based on
doing?
that.
Sorry
And when
about
I got started, there was no Saturday training in San Diego. So Nakota and I had to look at each other, and he didn't like to speak in front of people. If you know, Mr. Thomas will tell you that. So it's like, well, I guess it's us. So that was the Saturday training. You guys have the ability to plug into corporate training every single Saturday just by pushing a button. So why aren't you plugged in? Why aren't you plugging your team in? Take advantage of it before the world's open so much that they might even take it away. You guys have an access to build with the best of the best every single Saturday. And all you got to do is send a link. 10 a.m. every Saturday morning, like clockwork.